Yo, Sonny! What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Quick video here on installing a motion sensor, outdoor floodlight, spotlight. All right. What you want to do if you want to try to tackle this yourself is, if you plan on putting a spotlight anywhere on an exterior wall, because I have the back corner of a house here, what I do is I look for the closest access to power. So we have a plug here, and on the other side of this wall we have the backyard. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how we use this plug to install a switch, and then from the switch we're going to fish the wall and we're going to run the feed outside. We're going to install an outside watertight electrical box, and then we're going to put that outdoor lighting fixture up, whichever you choose to use. And so let's get started. Always, when you're working with power, always make sure the circuits are turned off. If you're not experienced, I don't recommend you do this. Hire a licensed electrician, someone who has experience in this type of work. All right, what you're going to need is a few things. You're going to need some wire, you're going to need a junction box, you're going to need a light switch cover, and that's just for the inside here. And then when we get outside, I'll show you what we need for outside. All right, let's get started. What you want to do is you want to come over to your plug. Always make sure your power's turned off. All right. You're going to open up your plug here. And inside these plugs, let's see, what am I doing here? Inside the plugs here, they're inside junction electrical boxes. All right. Some are plastic, some are metal. This is an older house, so most older homes are metal. All right, so let's take this cover off. Be careful. You want to try not to damage the paint as much as possible. Put this stuff aside. Put that aside, and then we're going to proceed just to take this off. All right, so we have a couple of feeds in here. So this is telling me it's a daisy chain. You have two hots and you have two neutrals, all right? So in this case, on the back of these plugs, you have little holes that you can insert for one more line, okay? What we're gonna do is, we're gonna look at the box. It is a metal box. This is a metal box. And to determine which side our 2x4 is on, what I like to do is I grab my stud finder and I just give it a quick swipe. So we know our 2x4 is on this side. So this whole left side is an open channel, okay? Just make sure, scan across. All right, so this is going to be nice and easy. This whole thing is an open channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to the same height as our light switch over by the door as you walk into the bedroom. We're going to mark it. Now, using these plastic junction boxes, I don't need the 2x4. I can just cut it right into the middle. If I want to center it, make it look nice, I'll probably center it. All right, you can check out, I got a video on how to install one of those junction boxes, but we're going to mark it, cut it, okay? So let's go ahead and start putting the junction box in where we want to put it. We will then, I will show you how we're going to snake the wall with a little piece of wire down to this plug. And then we're going to have just a little piece of wire going up to our light switch, our light fixture on the outside. Pretty simple. All right, so I went over, I measured from the floor up on my other switch. It was 44 inches to the bottom. Just want to make a little mark in the center of the wall. All right, always put your tools back. Put all your tools back when you're working, so you know where the hell they are when you need them. Okay. I'm going to mark it. What I like to do before I mark things, especially these junction boxes, Put a bullet level on it. Make sure it's plumb. Remember, if you're not sure how to mark these, because once you cut it once, if the hole's too big, you're pretty much screwed. You mark the sides, and then you just mark up here. Leave these tabs. Don't go marking down here at the bottom of the tab. Mark up here in between. So when you take it off, you'll see we have the marks. And then we're just going to finish it off with the bullet level. I know a lot of guys can do this real quick, but take your time. Once we mark it, you're going to score it with your blade. Go nice and slow. You could use a multi-tool to do this. But if you're only putting in a plug or two, and you're not doing it every day or a couple times a week, you don't need the multi-tool. Just take your time and mark these lines. Don't pull too hard, don't push too hard, because you don't want to go past the line. You don't want to go past that line and scratch the wall, you know what I mean? Because then it looks like crap. Alright, once you scored it about 10 times, remember, some walls got double sheetrock thick. Some have some panel behind the wall. You just don't know. So you want to cut it. Once it's cut, just pop it right in. Alright, you're going to have insulation because it's an exterior wall. I like to push that to the side. You can see the insulation here. You don't want to rip that up too bad. Alright, you want to keep that in good shape. Now that we have the cutout for the light switch, we need a feed to go from our power up to here. Inside these metal electrical boxes, there's punch outs. They're little circles. You can see one down there at the bottom left. See one right at the bottom. That little circle. And there's one at the top. There's one at the top there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that out. All you're going to do is get up in there. Let's see if we can focus this. Alright, you're going to take a screwdriver with a hammer and you're going to tap it. And this is going to open up. You can see how it's opening up. And you're going to knock it out. Once that hole is punched through, because it's only about a 2.5 foot distance between here and there. Alright, what I did was I actually pushed it down into the channel. Alright, I put my finger through that hole and I actually feel it, and it rode right on the top of my finger, and then I was able to just guide it through, and you could see it came right through the top. So you're just going to grab it and pull some slack out. So this will be our main feed going up to the switch. This will be cut for the switch. And then we're going to take another feed. We're going to go outside. We're going to drill a hole where we want the light, probably up about right here or so on the outside of the house. And we're going to continue to do the same thing. We're going to snake the snake from the outside down into here. So we have 2 pigtails. And that's where you hook up your light switch. And I'm going to show you how we ground that wire right there to the actual metal box itself. And I'll show you how we tie into that plug down there to give us power. And everything will be grounded properly. And we're going to be putting that spotlight right above that ladder. Okay? And that channel is the corner of the interior wall to that window. So we're going to center the outdoor junction box. We're going to drill a 1-inch hole using a spade bit. And that's what we're going to use to put our snake through. Take your 1-inch spade bit, put it up against the house. What you want to do is you want to drill down on an angle. Alright? The reason for that is the snake will go in easier. Then you're going to grab your snake. You're going to put it in the hole, obviously. You're going to give it a bend so it sticks to the interior like we did before, and we're going to stick it down into the channel to see if we can catch it on the other side. Alright, after sticking the snake through on the outside, come on in, take a look. I can see the wall, the exterior wall. So what you want to do is you want to get your fingers in there And you want to feel for it, and here it is right here. You can see the snake. All right. Because I'm by myself, I'm just going to start pushing the snake up towards the outside wall. And when I get the end of it, that's when I'm going to pull it through. Get to the end of the snake, and you can pull it out. Okay? And there you go. That snake goes from there, and it goes outside. So we're going to tie some wire onto the snake, make a loop on your snake like we have here. All right, and then you're going to strip back this wire, and you're going to put a wire through that loop and kind of wrap it around. All right, just strip it back. All you need is one. I always use the hot for some reason. And you're going to take it and you're going to put it through this little slot we have. Try to do this with one hand. Come down and give it a few twists. And if you're only going a few feet like I am, that would be okay. But just to be on the safe side, let's throw some electrical tape around there and keep it in place. Okay, now that it's secured to the snake feeding outside, we're going to go back outside. Make sure you have this stuff laid out in the room. It's not going to get tangled up as you pull it through the wall if you're working alone. And we'll go outside and we'll pull it out through, and we'll leave about maybe a 10-inch piece on the way out. We'll leave a 10-inch piece on the way out. All right, now that we're back outside, you want to just take your snake. Go easy. You don't have to pull on it like a maniac. We'll get our wire out. All right, give yourself some slack. Better to have a little extra than not enough. All right, and we're going to grab our outdoor box. If you're interested in the parts I'm using in this video, all right, that's what you're going to need. I'll have a link in the description below on the lights, the wire, everything I'm using in the video. We're going to go up there, we're going to feed that wire through this hole, and we're going to screw it literally right to the house. All right, now that the wire's pulled through, the junction box is screwed to the wall. I coiled up that red because we're not using it. Like I said, it was a scrap piece of wire. It is the right gauge, so please, with the comments below. We got our neutral, we got our hot, and we got our ground. So let's go inside, finish up the light switch, finish up tying into that plug, and then we'll come out and we'll install the spotlight. All right, now that we're back inside, what you're going to do is you're going to cut the piece coming from your light outside, the one we just snaked. All right. So you have one coming from the light, one coming from the power. So now you're going to take your box, your electrical box, and there are tabs here that you push in, and it keeps this wire in place so it doesn't move. Once it's in, it won't back out. So what I like to do is I always start from my left side. So the top left for me is always going to be my power, and the right one is always going to be the one leaving. Whether that's right or wrong, that's the way I do it. Okay, so you're just going to knock this out a little bit. Knock that one out. We're going to take our main from the plug down at the bottom, and we're going to just stick it right into this hole. And it kind of pinches its way through, just like this. Grab the other one that's going up to my light, put it on the other side. Bend while you're pushing it through so it kind of rides through like that. Grab them both. Get yourself some slack in here. Get some from the bottom. All right, then what you're going to do is basically push this into the hole. Now is we're going to tighten these two screws, this one, and it opens up those inner flaps on this box and squeezes it into the sheetrock to keep it stable. All right, now that we got the box in and it's nice and tight, what you're going to do is you're going to take a knife, go nice and easy, score it. Don't cut your fingers. Don't cut your hands. Open it up. Pull this back as far in as possible. And you're going to reach in there and you're going to cut that sheathing. Okay. Do the same thing over here. Score it. Nice and slow. Spread it apart. Pull it out. And reach in and cut it. Alright, we're going to take our red wires. Remember the red ones. We're going to coil those up. We don't need them. And again, if you're just watching the video now, I know it's not It's overkill. It's for a 3-wire, but it was scrap. I only needed about maybe 5 feet. Be careful while you're cutting all this, you don't cut into your sheathing of the wire, okay? Now what we're going to do to complete our ground circuit, put your wires to the side, take our 2 grounds, and we're going to take our 2 grounds and we're going to twist them like this. Once they're twisted, cut this off. So now we have a ground for our light switch, okay? We got our ground to the side, we got our hots to the side. So now what we want to do is we want to tie these neutrals together. Strip your wire. Take some alignment pliers, twist it, then we'll put another wire nut on there, cut this nice and even at the end, put a wire nut on the neutrals, make sure it's tight, tuck this back, you're going to need some room in here for your light switch, like I said before. Try to make it neat. Don't have so much wire back there. And the last thing we do for this, we strip our hots back. Give it a loop. Grab it right from the tip. Just give it a nice little twist. Same with this guy. Want to grab your switch, okay? Green obviously is the ground, so you're going to wrap the ground around the green. Okay, you're going to tighten this up. And you want to grab one of the hots. Remember, you want to wrap it around right side, so when you're tightening it, you're going to the right. The wire is going to stay on. Don't be afraid to tighten it up. Hold it in place while you're tightening. Once you have these wires connected and you're wondering, should it be this way or this way? Which way should it be? You want the switch to be on the upward position. So then you're going to bring it to your box. You're going to screw it in. All right, once the switch is in, put your plate on. I highly recommend you get the plastic, not the ones that crack, but this is like a durable kind of flexible plastic, so you could tighten it a little bit and it won't crack. Before you walk off the job, check for plumb, and she's close enough. And now I'm going to show you, we have to ground our ground wire to the electrical box in that wall. Then we're going to take the hot and the neutral and we're going to plug it into those holes on the back of the plug to activate this feed. All right. I grounded it to the electrical box back there. Then what you want to do is you want to take your hot and your neutral from the switch above. If you look on this plug here, there's a gauge. And the gauge is right here. I don't know if you can see this. It's a little gauge. And that's the length of the wire you need to be stripped back. So when we go to insert them in the holes, I don't want to, the holes right here, you got one on that side, one on that side, neutral here, hot on that side. You push it in and it's just enough bare wire to snap in place and hold in tight, and that's how we're going to make our connection. Now that I push the neutral in, you're going to grab your other. You're going to hold it firm. You're going to go push it into the hole. Okay, give it a tug, they're not coming out. Then you're going to put these wires together. You're going to fold them and put them back into the wall. let you guys know if you're doing a job. This was the original plate. Had some tape, paint and everything chipping off, and it looks like kind of like crap. You can buy oversized plates at the depot. I recommend you keep some on your truck. You can see here an oversized plate. It's bigger than the one we had, and it's going to cover those imperfections. And the customer would appreciate that. It'll look nice and neat. So yeah, you can get, if you have a problem around your plug and it looks like crap with the paint and tape all chipped, or even you have a little hole on the side, get an oversized plate and it'll cover it. Remember one other thing before you put a plug back into a metal box. Run electrical tape around the connections so there's no chance of any kind of problem. Now we're outside. We're going to grab the light. If you're curious, it's a Defiant. $49. They work well. This is the fourth one we're adding to this house. Haven't had too many problems with them. Always remember, before you install any kind of fixture, make sure you're not live. Test your wires. Now that the outside is complete, let's flip the switch on. We don't hear anything arcing. We don't smell any smoke. That's a good sign. Let's get outside. I put the spotlight on test mode, and we'll see if it comes on. And this is a good time to test it. You could test it during the day. Get your angles ready. Get all that stuff done. And then if you have to tweak it, the next day you tweak it. There you go. It's nice and secure. And that's how you hook up a spotlight outside. All right, find power for an exterior wall where you'd like to mount one. Snake the wall, run your feed to the light switch, put in a light switch, put in a junction box, and then run another feed up and out to the actual fixture outside. I'm gonna just walk around and test it and make sure they like the way the light goes on around the perimeter. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if this helped you out, share the video and do me a favor. What I meant to say was share, like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I lost the last part of the video out there. And what are we going to do now? Yo, Sonny! Where are you, son? Are you up here?
Yes, Sonny.